Hey guys, I want to show you how to replace this multifunction switch. Mine has gone bad. The quick story on it is whenever my headlights are on and this switch is in the normal position, my headlights do not work. When I flip it to brights, the brights work, and when I hold it back, the brights work. Blinkers work, windshield wipers works, everything else. I was going down the road, I felt this switch was very loose, and every time we hit a bump, this switch would move. I would kind of hold it with my hands and feel it move, and my headlights would flicker. And then driving down the road late at night, car was coming right toward us, boom, headlight switch decided to fail. So luckily I was able to hold my brights, blinded that other person, but they at least saw that I was still there. Pulled over on the side of the road, checked all the fuses are good, headlights are good, and I think the issue is in this switch. So I'm going to show you how to take this apart, replace it, and we can see what else we'll get into today. So to take this thing apart, you got to take off this lower cover here, and all you got to do is twist this off. This is your tilt lever for the steering wheel. So we'll pull that off. I already loosened mine. Yours might be a little bit more difficult. Boom, that's out of the way. And then you got 1, 2, and 3 just standard Phillips head screws holding this thing up. All right, so I got you underneath where this cover used to be. This is your ignition cylinder. You have to remove your ignition cylinder so that you can get this top cover off. And how you do that is you take the key, stick it in there to the on position, push in with your pick or screwdriver on this detent, and then it'll pull right out. Then once you get this top cover off, go ahead and get your ignition cylinder and stick it back in the hole. And then go ahead and turn off your vehicle from the on position so you don't drain your battery. All right, and here is your multifunction switch, this entire assembly. You have 2 Torx bits. They are, well, mine is a T20, top and bottom, and then you have 1 connector, 2 connector, and then the whole thing will pull right out. All right, so we got 2 tabs, 1 right there and 1 right here. So we're just going to try to gently pull up on them. We do not want to break these. There we go. Got 1 out. I don't know if you could see it, but I was kind of pulling on this assembly to give it a little downward force to help pull this off. Connector looks good. Nothing looks broke. All right. Look at this guy. Somebody's been in here before. Broke that switch, or the plastic connector rather. Broke this one. Let's see if we can. Okay, let's break that a little bit more. Okay, switch is free. Let's look at this connector. Well, that's not good. I bet you that's the 2 wires coming in for the headlight. Yeah, this connector's toast. Okay. All right, so I went ahead and bought 2 things. I bought a new multifunction switch. This one has definitely been replaced in the past. This is not a Ford Motorcraft part. Looks like 2012. Nobody was proud enough to put their name on this, so I'm just gonna assume that this is some, knockoff Amazon auto parts store parts. I like Ford Motorcraft. That's what came with the vehicle. Let's keep it that way. I got this one off eBay. I couldn't find it new on any of the Ford websites. Here's a part number. And then I also got that new connector. And here is a part number for that. I got this off Amazon, and I'll leave a link below. So what I'm going to show you guys is how to de-pin a connector. So you can see this is already pre-wired up, good to go. Comes with all your connectors and heat shrink. So you can just chop this off and just wire it up. I don't really want to cut these off. There's not a lot of room back there, so I'm gonna go with a different approach. And I'm just basically I'm gonna de-pin all these connectors. So I'm just left with a plastic housing. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the bus. And then I'm gonna use this new connector, and then obviously my new multifunction switch. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, so pretty easy. This red plastic piece right here is just basically kind of like a lock, I guess, and it keeps all the pins from pushing forward. We just need to pop this up, and this is just a small flathead, something like you'd see in like an eyeglass repair kit. All right. So that thing just snaps in there. Then you have all of your connectors. So I got a connector out to kind of show what you're doing in there. You have the top of your connector here that has a kind of a foot. That's what I'm calling this piece right here. This is obviously the lock, but that keeps the pin from going forward. And then you also have a on the same leg of the plastic connector, I'll show you in a second, this piece right here, this hole rather, is stuck in there as well, so it prevents you from going down. Let me show you a little bit closer what I mean. Well, you can't see, I need some light. Okay, so as you can see, this is the plastic connector that we were pulling to the side. You can see that top part is that foot, maybe you can see it, is that foot that I was talking about. And then if you look right in there, that is that second part of the connector. Or sorry, the second part of this plastic piece that holds in the connector. So you want to shove your screwdriver in just like that, and then really pull it to the side so you can get this plastic part away from your connector. Let me see if I can show you on this one. So I'm just making sure you're grabbing your wire, pull this piece to the side, pull it aside a little bit more, and there you go. Comes right out. Got 3 more. All right, all done. This is what it looks like. Just a piece of plastic, and then you got your lock. So now I'm gonna do this on the bus. All right, good little side-by-side comparison. This is what your connector is supposed to look like. And then you have whatever this trash is. So I went ahead and already got one pulled out. I'm just doing this one at a time, making sure that the connector is oriented the correct way, and then also, most importantly, in the correct slot. So I got the second one out, and I got it right back into the new one. So this thing has just completely come apart. So I can be a little bit more forceful on this connector because it's trash. Just be gentle with your wires. I don't know the condition of everything. The last thing I want to do is to have a loose connection and then pull this wire. You can't even see. Pull this wire off this connector. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but we'll see. Then you just take that. We're going in this top one right there. All right, heard it snap. Gentle pull, it's not going anywhere. I'm gonna get the rest of these put on, and then I'll bring you back. All right, so I'm on this last one, this one that got burnt, and this is kind of molded. This metal connector is kind of molded into the plastic, so I'm just breaking it apart. Gently, of course, to get to this connector. There we go. A little deformed on this edge. Let's see if I can roll this. There we go. All right, got all the wires and the new connector. Double checked everything, gentle pulls on all the wires to make sure everything is seated correctly. And now we're going to put in our little lock here. So just line it up. Heard it snap. And take our new Ford multifunction switch and get everything installed. All right, let's bolt this in, and then I will test my headlights. And the headlights on. Excellent. All right, test went great. Everything's working how it should. I would call this a success. I'm gonna wrap up all this off camera. But if you have this issue, as far as the connector issue, I'd highly recommend to depin it and not have to worry about cutting any of your wires back here. Getting into the factory wiring harness is not something that's usually recommended. And it looks a lot cleaner. You know, it looks factory like it's supposed to. So, hope you guys enjoy this video, and thanks for watching. So I got the old switch here, and I want to take this thing apart for my own curiosity. It's got a couple of screws here, but something I thought was interesting. This is the switch in the normal low beam position, and then when you push it forward, the high beam position. And if you look right here, as I move the switch forward, you can see it's burnt. I don't know how this switch shorted out. I think it has something to do with how loose it was, just a guess. But my interpretation of this failure is that this switch shorted out internally. This, right, are the two pins that I just put that melted on my old connector, and this is where the new connector that I just put on there goes. So I think this switch shorted out internally, created a lot of resistance and a lot of heat, and melted my connector right here. And because this switch shorted out, it no longer allowed me to run my headlights in the low beam position. I could have them on, I could pull it back and kind of hold my brights on, and then eventually I could throw my switch forward and have the brights on that way. But for, man, probably 10 miles or so, I was having to hold my brights like this. Not a very fun experience. Let's take this thing apart. Okay, well, I've been talking this entire time to nothing because the camera was not on. But here's your problem. So as you can see, I've already disassembled the switch. So try to bring you up to speed. So here is where I saw that that burnt part, right? That's this guy. So this guy slides in this groove, right? And is controlled by this lever, and it's kind of just hooked in like that, right? So move the lever up, maybe. There we go. So you move the lever up or down. And this part is hooked in there, which slides this up or down. And that sits in there like that, and it's just two connection points. And you can see that these are two pieces. This is split right here, right? Split. And so all you're saying when you throw the switch, or that lever rather, is you're saying send power from here to here, here to here, here to here. And let's see, we're looking right here. You can see how much slop is in this lever. It doesn't look like much, but when your tolerance of slop to a degree is that wide, no wonder it burnt up, because it's half connecting on this side and on this side at the same time. You know, when you throw your high beam lever, it has that sharp, you know, crisp click, right? Because you want to send power here to here. You don't want it to be hanging out in no man land right here and have your connector touch both sides, right? Because then you'll burn up like this and leave the operator, who's me, you know, driving down the road late at night with no headlights. So I think this is a great example to say, buy some quality parts. You know, when I shopped on Amazon and O'Reilly's and all your auto parts stores, you know, you could get this switch for, I don't know, 20 or 30 bucks. And it's some no-name overseas brand with little to no quality control. And, you know, just a small bit of slop can cause this to happen, which causes a bigger failure, which is you can't see at night. I'd highly recommend, if you're going to replace this switch, get you a Motorcraft one. That's what came from the factory. You know, I'm not saying that this couldn't happen to a Motorcraft one, but at least their quality control is seemingly better than the quality control of some company who's not even proud enough to put their name on this. Thanks for watching.